My name is Mrs. Jane ACHOLA. I'm from the Department of Medical Education. Medical education is the department that trains higher diploma students. And most of our students are lecturers of KMTC. Therefore, we train them to empower them to acquire the innovative ways of teaching. The higher diploma course takes 1 year, and this is in the main campus, Nairobi campus. And the course provides an overview of key issues that are covered in medical education. And these key issues are the key modules that we normally cover. And these are teaching and learning, curriculum development, assessment of student learning, instructional material development, student support, and continuous professional development. In the teaching and learning, we normally cover key areas also like the theoretical foundations of teaching and learning. We also cover the trends in teaching and learning. That is the trends from the traditional way of teaching to the more innovative way of teaching like e-learning. We also cover the learning styles of the students. We empower the lecturers to be able to identify the learning styles of the students so that they are able to maximize the utilization of those styles when they are facilitating learning. We also concentrate on the lesson design because for the lecturers to effectively facilitate the learning, they need to plan their work. So we concentrate on lesson design. Also, key areas in the teaching and learning include the instructional strategies. There are several instructional strategies that are engaged in teaching and learning. So in medical education, the lecturers are empowered to be able to identify which strategy is applicable for particular teaching. After covering the theories in teaching and learning, we also do the practicum. This practicum engage what we refer to as micro-teaching. This is where the lecturers learn the skills of teaching, so that when they go to the field teaching practice, they are able to utilize all these skills to facilitate learning. And another key module in medical education is curriculum development. In curriculum development, the lecturers are empowered to be able to plan the curriculum, to be able to implement the curriculum, and after implementation, they may go under, the curriculum goes under evaluation, and after evaluation, there may be curriculum review. Another key module in medical education is assessment of student learning. In the student learning assessment, we concentrate mainly on looking at the process of the assessment, the concept of assessment, and the assessment instruments. In the process of assessment, we look at the reasons why the lecturers assess the learners. And this is why they assess, how they assess, what they assess, and when they assess. Then in the concept of assessment, we look at the validity of the assessment. How valuable is the assessment? How reliable are these assessments that they are exposing their learners to? And In the instrument of assessment, there are a variety of assessment. And you know it is the assessment that actually derives learning. Therefore, the lecturers are empowered to be able to identify the assessment tool that is relevant for a particular teaching that they have done. We also cover IMD as a module. IMD is Instructional Material Development. This is where the lecturers are given a variety of instructional materials that they can use during their teaching. And medical education stresses on the utilization of technology for facilitating learning. And especially now that we are moving towards e-learning, the lecturers are really drilled on the use of technology for their facilitation of learning. And again, it's been realized that when you use a variety of instructional media, the retention of learning is also higher and the students don't get bored. Another key module in medical education is student support. Generally, learning is supposed to be enjoyable. However, medical students, they find a lot of stresses, especially in their clinical areas, particularly in the wards and in the clinical areas, where you find that sometimes they get involved with very stressful situations. So in medical education, we stress on student support and mentoring so that the students are able to enjoy their learning and to cope with their learning situations. In the student support, they are supported spiritually, they are supported socially, and they are also supported with their academic work. We also do research. Research is another key module in medical education. However, the research that we conduct in medical education is different from the researches that are done in the clinical areas because our researches concentrate mainly on the education part, not the clinical researches. And since the Department of Medical Education is a multidisciplinary department, we concentrate only on the researches that will assist the learners, the action researches that will assist the learners to conduct educational researches. Mode of study in medical education, we have full-time mode, which is usually for the September class. And also we have the e-learning, which is hybrid. Why do I say hybrid? We say hybrid because the students at one point, they come to the department for face-to-face contact. So it's not just purely e-learning. And that is why we refer to it as hybrid. And this e-learning is the March intake. Placement areas for our students. Medical education students are lucky enough because most of them are our lecturers. And KMTC colleges are spread throughout the country. Therefore, our students, they get access to placement areas with a lot of ease. And school fees is around 123,000 Kenya shillings for the Kenyan residents. However, these ones are subject to change with the administration. Job description for our graduates, medical education, they go back to their health institution areas to facilitate learning. So they go back as medical educators. They also go as research assistant, like in institutions that conduct researches. They also go as student research supervisors. They also get employed as CME coordinators, especially by the Ministry of Health in clinical institutions. They can also be student mentors where they are facilitating in the institutions where they are facilitating learning, and also mentors for the newly employed professionals in health institutions. Their places of work are government. They are employed in government health training institutions, research-based organizations as research assistants, just as I've said, healthcare institutions as examiners, and even in the inspection of the regulatory bodies. Their academic progression, medical education stress a lot on long life learning. And our students, since we also stress on self-directed learning, long life learning is part of medical education that is really practiced. So from higher diploma, the students can proceed to the degree in medical education, masters in medical education, and even PhD in medical education. And all these are available locally. And sometimes they can proceed for those courses outside the country. The partners that we work with are research organizations. We partner a lot with faith-based because there are so many faith-based institutions that are starting health professional training. So we partner with faith-based, and we also partner with private partners like private health institutions. We also conduct short courses to empower our lecturers who are already in practice, and also for the newly employed lecturers, just to introduce them into the teaching methodology. By the way, medical education is a very key department for anybody who is intending or who is already teaching in any health institutions. Because if one is maybe teaching without this course, it's like a driver on the road without a driving license. You are welcome to the Department of Medical Education, and this is a department for those who have done at least a minimum course in health-related course at a diploma level. And we also take those who have done bachelor's and even master's, and you are intending to be employed or to work as a health professional educators. It's also important that you have done a bit of IT, because we use a lot of technology in our department. This is a department for adult learners mainly, and for the Form 4s who have just graduated, who are joining KMTC, we would advise you first to do at least a minimum of diploma course in health-related course, and after that is when you can join medical education.